sits on verbal killing spree. Blind sheep fall to their knees. Choose a side, left or right, it's all the same. Passionate folk and half-truths and lies, packaged in designer suits and ties. To be clear, you and I are not the same. And they don't know how long the story goes, but we're doing fine. Crosses they have. They open up my chest so I can finally breathe. Stepping out alone, but I suppose we might as well be free. Do we find our way back home? And they don't know how long the story goes. And they don't know how long the story goes. And they don't know how long the story goes. And they don't know, they don't know, they don't know what we're doing. Fine crosses they land. Open up my chest so I can finally breathe. Stepping on the road, but I suppose we might as well be free in certain company. What we're doing. Fine crosses they land. They open up my chest so I can finally breathe. Stepping out of road, but I suppose we might as well be free. Do we find our way back, find our way back, find our way back home? Fools say the currency is king. They don't know a goddamn thing about who we are. What it means is what it's worth. See-through city block country.
What's up, Bills Mafia? Welcome to the K-Gun Report. I'm your host, Scott, for the night. There's a couple faces missing, but we're excited to have you all. We're going to have a nice little conversation with the Mafia, the Bills Mafia. A lot to be excited for. Big show out in Seattle. We had their quarterback, their coach is saying there was more Bills fans there than anywhere else. And I think Ticketmaster and everybody else will agree to that. So we've got a fun game to review. It's just me and you guys tonight. We're going to talk the Miami game for sure. We'll get to the key factors, my key factors offensively, defensively, the X factor of the game, and we'll go over some score predictions. So let me get this intro going, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. What's up, Bills Mafia? I promised you I'd be back. Here I am. Like I said, my name is Scott, Scooter, as they call me, the host of the K-Gun Report. Welcome to this Tuesday's episode. We've got a fun game to talk about. We won't spend a lot of time on it because, you know, the Bills aren't thinking about the last team they played, and neither will we. But we'll review it real quick. Join me in the comments, guys. It's just me tonight. Would love to have the comments come in, ask the questions, fire away, and we'll get rolling tonight. But first, I want to say cheers. to a victory. I'm drinking Big Ditch Day Burner. It's one of my favorite drinks, and I'll be drinking that a little bit tonight. Got a lot of comments coming in, but first, you'll see that the powered by StreamYard up there, little technical difficulties. So we are sponsored by 26 Shirts. Don't let that design up there fool you. And we're also part of the Buff Fan Base Network. Has been with them for 2 years now. A wonderful relationship. And of course, 26 Shirts. We tell you all the time on the show, go spend your money there. They know how to spend it better than you do. And you get some free merch, up-to-date, stylish merchandise every week. Not free. I said free, but new merch. You get new merch. Anything to add to the collection, right? And then obviously that money goes to a Western New York family in need. So as we say on the show, it's a win, 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 win. But yeah, guys, if you haven't already, join, like, tag, share, all that stuff to our social medias, the 24/7 Buff Pandemonium and the Finger Lakes Mafia. Let's hit up the fans real quick. We got a lot of our OGs joining in the conversation. Let's do this here. What's up, Mafia? Get the crack and them cold drinks and them so good SpaghettiOs. It's K-Gun report time. You ain't kidding. Thanks, Patrick. Cheers. I'll take a pull. You'll see me pulling a lot today. Yeah, I'm riding solo. Good stuff. John. Once again, happy Tuesday is here. Hello, Mafia family. Go Bills. What's up, John Johns? What's up, Patrick Hughes? Are we ready for Tua? That's Tua ready for us, I guess the question could be. Corey, our man. Corey, what's up, Mafia? Great win from our Bills Sunday. It was a good one. We'll talk a little bit halfway through the show about mid-season performances and how the Buffalo Bills, we think they are doing. Guys, we are going to do, like I said, the transition between the Seahawks game and the Miami game. I'm going to go through who I believe is my MVP offensively and defensively, and then talk a little bit about the rookies. So we've got a packed show today. Doug Augie. Hey, everyone. Victory Tuesday. Best day of the week. We were talking about this. I don't know if you guys tuned in. We had a bunch of you fans join us this past week at the Bills Backers Bar at Doug Kent's Rose Bowl Lanes, Bills Backers Bar here in Newark. We had an amazing event, an amazing turnout. The Bills obviously won, which makes things even better. But we had a bunch of you guys come out. We actually discussed what Tuesday meant to us. And part of the discussion was when it's a victory, hell yeah, it's a victory Tuesday. But if it's a loss, it's our therapy session. So we joked about that for a little bit, and it is what it is. We're a fan first perspective. We get the feelings just like you guys do. Go over the top with it. It's like a roller coaster, and it's a therapy session for all of us, whether it's a win or lose, right? Therapy's not all about the bad. Corey Blaine, so cool. Charla Zwemmer. What's up, Charla? Awesome game on Sunday. Hope they can come out fast again next Sunday. I agree. We'll get there. One of my good buddies, Josh Cook. What's up, Cookie? What's up, brother? Shane Becker. What's up, friend? Name I haven't seen in a while. One of the OGs. He's been here quite some time. Go Bills. Go Bills. The Doc is back. Bruce McKellar. Those of you who don't follow the page yet, the actual website, Bruce McKellar, when there's injuries on there, he'll go and put a blog in, a very informative blog about our injuries. Obviously, we've had a couple, but we got a lot of people returning back. Doc is back, season ticket holder. What's up, Doc? Welcome back, Dr. Bruce. Zach Austin, what's up, everyone? What's up, Zach? Zach, quick story. I just got back from a banquet today. My little son, Jack, plays for the Mid-Lakes Screaming Eagles here in Mid-Lakes, Clifton Springs, Phelps area. And Zach was a teammate of mine back in the day, back in the late 90s, early 2000s. What's up, Zach? Patrick Hughes. Von Miller returns this week. Tua get ready to eat turf. That's exciting news. As you guys all are aware, if you don't, I'm telling you, Von Miller was sentenced to 4-game suspension. Won't go into details about it, but he will be back for this game. Perfect time to get right onto his ass. Corey, we got to mix tuna and the SpaghettiOs this weekend. I'm going to skip right through there. That's disgusting, Corey. Fun to see Seattle's players self-destruct Sunday. That's a good point. I want to talk about that real quick. Something that we've seen the Bills do a couple times in the past, but not a lot, is have that fire underneath their ass kind of you just see it. You just see the fire under their ass, and it's not out of frustration. It's not out of being behind and getting frustrated with how the game's going on. It is a spark. It is a fire that they have where I'm seeing them be a lot more. We ain't putting up with anybody's shit. We're the bully of this game, and I'm not saying this game's about bullying, but it's something nice to see our Buffalo Bills be a part of, and for sure, great comment there. I just saw that we got to mix the tuna in there again. Not gonna happen. What else we got here? Kelly Russo. What's up, Kelly Russo from X, formerly known as Twitter. Go Bills. Welcome to the show, Kelly. Glad to have you. Got your comment up there. Love it, love it, love it. Go Bills from X. I love seeing it. We got our Facebook crew. You know, we've got our YouTube crew. We're newish to X. We're obviously new to Instagram, but Instagram doesn't allow the comments come in yet. But I love to see the other platforms join in on the conversation for sure. Buffalo Spartan Superfan. What's up, Mafia? Mount up. This is Sparta. Hey, Buffalo Spartan. Welcome to the show, my friend. It's a one-man show tonight. I should have contacted you, man. If I knew ahead of time that I'd be doing it solo, I'd have brought you on the show. A bunch of you I would have brought on the show. Let's see here. Time to get trifecta. The infamous Nashville Hawk Tua. Is it past 8 o'clock yet? Can we start? It's an interesting concept. I saw it a couple weeks ago. You got to laugh. For those of you who don't know, one of the latest fads is that Hawk Tua girl, and it was located in Nashville. So the coincidence with this phrasing is Nashville, we beat Tennessee. Hawk, we beat the Seahawks, and Tua's coming to Buffalo this week. So good get, Buffalo Spartan. Ellen Lartz, the lovely Ellen Lartz. What's up, everyone? What a great game on Sunday. It was. We'll jump in on that here in a couple minutes. I do. We all do. We love to get into the comments. You guys are the reason we do all this, and so it wouldn't be right to not get you guys some love before we start that conversation, right? Lisa thought the same thing. Patrick Hughes, Scott, the one-man band, Reed. There you go. Uncle Jamie, what's up, Mafia? What's up, Uncle Jamie? Guys, it's so good to see you. It really is. It's good to see all these comments come up. That's the only thing keeping me sane right now so I don't lose my mind. I've hosted a couple shows, but not by myself. So here we go. We're going to talk about our Buffalo Bills football. We're going to put the Seahawks game in review. We'll have a little intermission, not necessarily an intermission, but a midpoint conversation about who I believe will be the offensive and defensive MVPs so far. And we'll talk a little bit about the rookies to see how they're panning out. Now we got some comments coming in. There we go. Good evening, Mafia. Mary Jane Brown Hughes. What's up? Alberto. Hello, everyone. Great win. Boy, Mafia sure showed out. And I mentioned this at the top of the show. They sure did. You guys sure did. I mean, Ticketmaster and all that stuff suggested possibly that we would have 51% of the tickets. But it sure as hell sounded like we had more than 51%. Obviously, we saw the post-game interviews. Geno Smith was frustrated. Guys, and this is no joke. I mean, we do turn out pretty well at all these stadiums, but this is on the other side of the nation. This is on the other side of the continental USA, all the way back there. And we showed up at a stadium that's known as the 12th man to sell out and be loud and wreak havoc to the opposing the away team. And we were there, and we were the ones wreaking havoc, and we were the ones that benefited from the loud noises and taking over for sure. I know we didn't like how Dig left our team, but we never wish an injury like this get well soon. Yes, for those of you who don't know, Stefon Diggs did have a non-contact injury. I believe it was an ACL tear. He'll be out for the season. And you could say what you want, hindsight, blah, blah, blah. You never like to see anyone injured. You hate to see anything, karma, especially injury karma. You hope for a bad season. You don't hope for injury. So it does suck. Houston Texans will be fine, though. They have a really good, talented football team, and they'll learn to adjust just like anybody else. Jade Ma. What's up, Jade Ma? From the YouTubes. Welcome, Jade Ma. How are you? I'm good, Jade. How are you? I'm here before you blow up. I know you are going to be huge. Oh, thanks, Jade. Thank you, Jade. John Johns, it sounded like a home game. Sure did. Uncle Jamie, is Brandon Bean making another move? I don't know. Uncle Jamie, follow up that question. What move do you think he should make if you think he should make another move? I just don't see it. I just don't see it. We got guys coming back from injury. We've got, obviously, we do have some people going out with injury. Of course, there's that part of it. But I'm not sure where you could bring someone in that's going to be cost effective and improve the team. And they're doing well. They're doing really well now. We'll get to that with the review of the Seattle Seahawks game, but I don't see any kind of moves that could be made. You're obviously not going to touch on the wide receivers now. Running backs are fine. Offensive line's fine. Quarterback, fullback, wide receiver, all those are fine. You'd have to go defense if you're bringing anybody in, right? Who do you got on your mind there, Uncle Jamie? Patrick Hughes. Quick question. Not saying it's going to happen, but thought on Trey White possibly coming back. Nope. In my honest opinion, I don't see that happening. It's no. Benford's doing his thing. I think right now he's the number one ranked cornerback in the league. Rasul Douglas is doing a hell of a job. Swank there wants him. That's one of his things. We'll get there. He wants him, Rasul Douglas, to capitalize on one of these almost interceptions and just be treated for the hard work that he's been putting out and getting himself a pick six. But right there's our two corners and Taron Johnson. Cam Lewis is doing an amazing job. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Do I want to see it? I don't know. He's not doing that great. That leg injury just taken over. He's had it a couple times. He's aging. There are players out there that you'd love to see come back, and he would be a name that I would love to see on the back of a jersey again in Buffalo, but I just don't see him fitting anymore. And that's part of the reason why we got rid of him, or why we didn't match contracts and all that stuff. Yep. Corey Blaine, no, man. He lost a step. Love him, but no. Yep. Kelly Russo, loving our rookie Coleman. Yeah. I think a lot of people are. And we'll talk about Coleman here in a little bit. Like I said, halfway through the show, I'm going to review the rookies real quick. Mostly talking about, the obvious guys that are making the biggest difference at this time, but gotta love what Coleman's doing. Mafia showed up. They sure did. Bills Mafia was chanting MVP when Josh Allen approached the interview area. The game was done. Well deserved. I mean, he deserves to get those praises. We'll see what happens throughout the rest of the season, but we know there's a lot against him. He can have identical numbers to the other guys that are always put on there, and he's never going to get the nod. He's got to be tenfold what the other guys are doing to get to that award. I just heard a rumor. Oh, that gotcha, Uncle Jamie. You just heard a rumor that Bean might have something else up his sleeve. I don't know. I think if Bean is doing something, it's going back to that Amari Cooper trade. We gave away a third rounder for next year. I think we gained a sixth rounder and lost a seventh rounder for 2025. I don't see us borrowing him just for a year for the money he's making now. So if the Bean makes any kind of move, I honestly do believe we're not going to give up a third round draft pick just to have him for 1 year. So you might see a contract extension based on maybe a couple more weeks of how he plays, how he understands the playbook, because right now I think that's not a concern, but something that's happening right now as we speak. But I would believe that one of Bean's biggest moves was to lock down Cooper for a couple years. I know he's getting old, so 2-3 year contract would be nice. Doug Augie says linebacker, some depth. I agree. Does Poyer get booed Sunday on his return to Buffalo? I don't think so. No, not much more to say about that. I think Buffalo Bills fans loved him, regardless of what's happened in the past couple months since he's been in Miami. I think he's been a staple. He's part of the turnaround in the drought. He's part of the possibly top 5 best duo safeties in the league for the longest time. Well noted by Buffalo Bills fans, well loved by Buffalo Bills fans. We might get a cheer. Doug Augie says they released the 5th running back, so it opened up a roster spot. Practice squad kind of guy, right? Paulette Brown, good evening, my Mafia family. Let's go, Buffalo. What's up, Paulette? What's up? Way to kick ass in the comments, guys. We have almost 600 people viewing live. We're 15 minutes into it. Love it, love it, love it. I appreciate you all. We always do, Swank, Jarrod, and myself, not only for the comments, but the sharing our page, the sharing the show. It is a fan-first perspective. I'll keep saying it. You hear me say that. It's a bunch of guys that used to hang out at the bar and talk Buffalo Bills football to the wee early morning hours. And we absolutely love it. So we decided to start a show, and we've been going 5 years now, and we've developed quite the family that follows us and shows up to our events, and just gives us ongoing, endless support. And ourselves as well as you guys have made it so we've earned our spot to be part of an awesome network in the Buff fan base, and sponsored by none other than 26 Shirts. If you're a Bills fan and you don't know what 26 Shirts is, well, they're a great charity. Del Reed started it to raise money for Western New York families, and it's taken off. It used to be just 26 shirts a year. Now they do shirt every week. But we're more than honored and happy to be a part of that. And obviously our show, the K-Gun Report, and our pregame show, Sunday Sessions, is all sponsored by 26 Shirts. So love you guys. Love you guys. Let's go ahead and put this game in review. We're not going to talk a lot about it because the past is the past. But I want to hear your guys in the comments what you thought about this game, what you liked, what you didn't like. We'll talk about it all. But what you took out of this game against the 4-3 Seattle Seahawks. Not a slouch of a team by any means. They've come out and won a couple games. Obviously, they had a winning record when they met up with the Buffalo Bills this past week, and they're playing at home. Rainy, nasty, cold, chilly weather with the 12th man, and obviously the Bills fans know who the real 12th man is. But it could have been a very tough game. But we showed up. We started hot, and we just kept the foot on the gas and came out with a win. We are 6-2 right now. For anybody that's keeping track, we all are obviously, but we are 6-2 at this time, atop of the AFC East by 4.5 games, and that half comes with a tiebreaker. So we're up 4.5 games. And our buddy in the comments, I think Corey Blaine, mentioned earlier this week in a group chat, we have 4 victories. If we win the next 4 games, guys, the AFC East is ours. And we always, always, always preach the easiest way to the playoffs is to win your division. So obviously I'm not giving us 4-0 right now, but it's a possibility the way we're playing now. And we have every reason to be excited about where we are sitting right now. Mary Jane Brown Hughes is keeping us updated. Dodgers up 2-0. Freddie, another home run. I'm a Freddie fan. I'm a Braves fan at heart, so he came from the Braves, so I'm cheering him on. Let's see here. This is regarding the game. We're talking about Seattle now, guys. Uncle Jamie says, love seeing Coleman manhandle some cornerbacks. Oh, yeah. I believe he got one of the highest ratings blocking as far as wide receivers go this week, which is awesome. And I'll get into why I love Coleman here in the mid-show, and you guys can all join in. But what an amazing performance. The guy just doesn't catch balls. He provides opportunities for his teammates to be successful. Bruce McKellar, Russo was a beast. He was a beast. A lot of quarterback pressures. This guy, we've talked about on the show lots of times. Sometimes the pressure is just as good as a sack. Obviously, we'd love for these guys to eat. We would love for these guys to get that stat padded on and get the sacks. Jesus, last week, Russo was all over the place. He's not getting there. And I feel bad for these guys because it's more than just Russo. These guys are creating some hella pressure, and they're just not getting there. Obviously, they're doing a good enough job to distract the passer, cause some misreads, have some overthrows, underthrows, all that good stuff, which is just as good, like I said. But, man, you would love to see these guys get rewarded with a couple sacks, and they are so close. They'll get there. They'll get there, but they are so close right now. Kelly Russo says, we came out strong and we're steady throughout. Great to see. That's one of my one of the things I have highlighted here. I believe, first and foremost, Josh Allen throwing that pick, we got that out of the way. That was something that was going to happen There has never been a quarterback in the NFL. I looked this up, and the stat goes for at least 500 pass attempts in a season. A quarterback has never gone a season without throwing an interception. And a real quick fun stat for you: Aaron Rodgers, I believe, only had 2 in 2018, which is a remarkable mark, an awesome mark. And I think the next 4 quarterbacks on the list are Aaron Rodgers. So efficient as he was, obviously he's no longer the Aaron Rodgers that he was back then, but he's got that guy. He's got that one marked. He's is the as far as interception goes, the best quarterback to have the least amount in a season. It was 2018. Bobby Snyder. Hi, Scott. Great win and Bills week for the Bills this week. Hell yeah, bud. Hell yeah. John Johns. I like the fact that Josh extending plays and still looking for open receivers instead of constantly running. That is something he's doing. We all know Josh. He likes to roll right. And I think a couple of the teams in the first couple of games has kind of figured that out. If you notice, a lot of his rollouts in the first handful of games, he'd roll out to the right and he'd be fading back, leaving him 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, which makes it tough. So Joe Brady, being a great offensive coordinator he's learning to set plays up better. So when Josh does have to roll out right, he's not drifting back. He's actually coming forward, being able to turn them hips and finding the receivers downfield. So great point, John Johns. Josh is doing a great job for sure. Alan Lartz, I didn't understand why most of the sports reporters and channels had Geno Smith as a top-rated quarterback since he was absolutely terrible on Sunday against the defense. Well, I'm going to defend him a little bit here. I do like Geno Smith. I do think that he is a good quarterback, above-average quarterback in the NFL. He absolutely had no run game, and this works for everybody in the NFL. There's not many quarterbacks that can get away with having 1.9 yards a carry rushing and establishing a good passing game. No matter how you look at it, unless you can develop a run game of some sort, your pass offense is not going to be that successful in most cases. I'm not saying it happens everywhere, but if you're in a situation where the defensive lineman can pin their ears back and everyone can drop back in the responsibilities and man coverage without worrying about a run, that makes it a lot more difficult for that quarterback to have a successful day. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He did play a Buffalo Bills defense that generally does do really good with that two-man zone safety. They do play all zone at times, but this kind of Buffalo Bills defense is a tough one for a quarterback like Geno Smith and the type of offense that they run. But he's not top rated, but he's good. He's good. I thought Josh was the most calm I've seen him in a long time. He was dialed in and did not let the penalties rattle him. Great comment, Doug Augie. Here's the thing with that. He was calm. He was dialed in. And I believe wholeheartedly, I really do. He's been through a slew of coordinators. Obviously, we know the names of those guys. Mark Maddox has been on the show, and he's constantly mentioning, always bringing up coaching, setting up players to be successful. And I don't care how, unless you're like a Tom Brady who knows how to manage their own game. I'm not saying Josh Allen does not know how to manage his own game, but if you can come up with a game plan and call plays that are taking advantage of tendencies and all that stuff and blitz packages and understanding, this is why people always say teams are outcoached. If you can get coaches that can outcoach other coaches, that sets up these players to be very successful. And the more successful players are, the calmer they're going to be. And so I give a lot of credit to the relationship that he has with Joe Brady. And I think that you'll see, we talk about Josh Allen's bright eyes. When he's like this, you can be a little nervous. But more times than not this year, he has been very calm. And he's been dialed in. And he doesn't have that little person, that little devil or the angel, however you want to call it, chirping in his ear saying he's got to throw it to a certain someone in this package. He's a lot more free, which I agree will help with all that. Penalties, yeah, we have an offense the penalties aren't rattling him. We have an offense that can get the chunk yards if we have to. So you'll find that a lot of quarterbacks that could throw the ball and have packages for 15, 20 yards downfield, they're a lot more calm than those that depend on the run and depend on the screens and all that stuff. So I think a lot of that's set up by this organization, how the Bills run their offensive scheme for sure. Patrick Hughes, SpaghettiOs have us 5-2. They do. They do. We started our record 6-2, guys, but for those of you who don't know, we started the SpaghettiO things after week 2. So bada bing, bada boom. Joe Monster McDonald. What's up, Joe Monster? Joe has his own show, guys, on Facebook. He's on other social medias, but he's one of those very knowledgeable Bills fan, very loud. So those of you who like the loud and excited Buffalo Bills fans that have a podcast and live stream, go follow him, watch him. Very exciting guy to watch. Thanks for the comment, Joe. Love it. Love to hear it. But if you go and check him out, you won't be disappointed for sure. Patrick Hughes, Scott, let us know when you need to tap out because you're tired and can't believe Colts quarterback did that. Can we talk about that for a minute? What time we got? Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. For those of you who don't know, I'm a quarterback guy. Didn't go up through the college ranks and obviously not a pro, but I played high school football, played quarterback. I went to a bunch of camps and stuff and learned to love the position, studied the position even when I wasn't playing anymore, and like studied hard. And I am obsessed with the quarterback position, calling plays, calling schemes, reading defenses, all that good stuff. That's a different conversation. This annoys the shit out of me. Anthony Richardson, one of my favorite quarterbacks coming in the draft. I had him highly touted as one of the better quarterbacks in the draft 2 years ago. Takes a playoff for Indianapolis. He ran around, scrambled, got tackled, tapped his helmet, went off for a play. And that is a no-go. A quarterback, just like the middle linebacker, just like the leaders on defense, a leader on offense that's calling the plays, you guys are looking up to you. I don't care if you're a rookie, a second-year guy. You're calling the plays. You're calling the shots. They trust you that you are the voice, the hand of the head coach that's making the decisions. And if you're the one tapping out of a football game, not only do I question your conditioning, which shouldn't be an issue because you condition all year, but it is a sign of quitting. There should be no situation, unless you get the wind knocked out of you, concussed, which you would be benched anyways, that you should ever pull yourself out of that role. It's a very big letdown to the fans, but I'm telling you what, it's more to the fans and the players of a letdown than a letdown to yourself, because if you're going to allow yourself to do something like that, you've got to question your gut and your fire to win and your drive to win football games. Obviously, a paycheck's a paycheck, but man, this is not a good look for you. And I'm not afraid to call you out. You are the leader of the team. When you take a playoff, the rest of the team is going to take a playoff, and that burns everybody. And it pisses me off when I saw that. And rumor has it that he's going to be benched for Joe Flacco. Good for you. Joe Flacco has not taken a playoff in the 99 years that he's played. He's a guy that deserves to be in the league still. He's playing well. And you know what? Let this be a lesson learned, but no one's going to forget it. I'm telling you, Anthony Richardson, no one is ever going to forget this, and it might harm you for the rest of your career, because no matter what team you go to, no matter what team you remain on, which is the Colts, these players are going to know that you are a quitter, and that's not a good look for the head position as a quarterback. Joe is live at 9 p.m. tonight, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you, Joe. Tear that ass up Tuesday. Don't let the media tap out because you're tired. Say you have a cramp or something. I'm hearing a lot of that. Make up something. Let's see here. Some of my review, the Seahawks game, I got some talking points. This is what I love. One of my biggest talking points is what I love, and this is why I think Josh is calm and able to manage the game better. You fact checkers out there, give me a quick fact check. I believe there are 34 rushes against the Seahawks versus 34 passes. And I can talk to you all night about what a run offense could do for a passing offense. But Joe Brady had calls dialed in that just ask for a recipe for success. Obviously, when you jump up on a team 7-3, 14-3, and all that stuff, you keep rolling, it makes the play calling a lot easier. But to be able to still call a game where you are calling plays evenly, being up, that's an amazing gameplay. Because now you're not showing, at least you're not showing tendencies in regards to pass and rush, how often it's happening. I love seeing the start of something special in our dual running back field. I believe James Cook has 2 more years with us, and obviously Ray Davis has 3 after this. So these running backs are going to be here for a while. Ty Johnson just signed back up. This backfield is something special, and they are making it very difficult for these linebackers to take the read steps up and drop back into coverage if they have to worry about these guys getting 5-6 yards a pop. And obviously it all coattails. Well, I say when that happens, the passing game lightens up and the play action passing game obviously takes off. But Joe Brady dialing in a 34-34, we had an idea that the Buffalo Bills would be more of a running team, and that takes off the load of a quarterback so much. It takes the load off the play calling when it's successful so much. And you know what? It allows our hog mollies to be aggressive, take control of the game. And that's where I was talking earlier in the game, how I'm loving to see the attitude that our Buffalo Bills are bringing to this game. They're punchy. They're I wouldn't say they're light. Their fuse is small, but they're not putting up with anyone's shit. And I'm telling you what, the reason that's happening is because they're going into this game, they're punching people in the mouth, and they just don't want to stop doing it. And that's the kind of mentality you want as the offensive line, and it's leaking. It's leaking over to our wide receivers. Again, Keon Coleman, one of the top-rated blocking grades this week, and I think throughout the season. Obviously, Matt Collins, a bigger wide receiver, known for his blocking. So this is a beautiful thing to watch, and I love that 34-34 play call. It's a beautiful thing. Patrick Hughes says, Joe Monster McDonald, what's your SpaghettiOs choice plan, meatballs or Franks? Yeah, answer that question, guys. There's a quick one for you. Meatballs, Franks, or regular? Doug Augie, winners never quit and quitters never win. Boom. Joe, he likes both. No bad choice. There you go. Patrick Hughes, James Cooks has 1 year left and his 2nd round pick. No 5th year option. Thank you, Patrick. You going to join Corey Blaine and I embrace the power of the O's. There, that was a comment towards Joe. For those of you who don't know, we do have a pregame show. Also sponsored by 26 Shirts. We have been chugging the SpaghettiOs since week 2. And there's a lot of videos out there. It's fun to watch. But the Buffalo Bills are 5-2 since then, and that's becoming a thing. And yeah, you forget what they taste like, and they're actually pretty wonderful. I'm enjoying them. All right, we're at the midway point. I think we're a little past the midway point. Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. You guys are kicking ass in the comments. I can tell you right now, we're pushing 800 live viewers. Amazing. You guys always keep us busy, and we love seeing the viewership. So if you're watching right now, tag, like, and share. We love hitting up the comments as you guys see. So, like we always said, you guys are just as much part of the show as we are. We've had shows where we just do comments and answer questions, and we absolutely love it. This is about you, Bills fans, fan first perspective. Let's talk some Buffalo Bills football. Let's hit up some of these comments right here. Yep. Corey reminds us the O's have been working every game since week 2. Patrick Hughes, nope. Y'all do your own thing. I respect it. As he's eating a thing of SpaghettiOs. SpaghettiOs. All right. What do we got now? I want to talk a little bit about, and obviously you guys join in. I want to give my grades, or let's go most valuable players offensively and defensively. We'll do that in just a second. I do want to talk about the rookies and how they've impacted this season so far. We are week 8. Obviously, there is no midway point now until the second half of the 9th game due to the fact that there's 17 games left. But rookies this year have been phenomenal. We know in the past the Buffalo Bills have drafted, trained, or draft. I can never remember the saying. Draft something, retain. Draft, develop, retain. I'm sorry. Talk with my hands. That's why I went blurry. They've always done the draft and retain thing for our rookies, and they've done a good job doing that. And I think McDermott's kind of feeling the pressure. Bean is kind of feeling the pressure and wanted to draft a class that was a little older. And I'll start with Ray Davis because he's, I think, 24, 25 years old. They wanted to bring in guys that were a little more experienced as far as quantity of football, not necessarily quality, but quantity of football. And they brought guys in that could immediately help the team. Like I said in the past, they brought in players that they hope would be an impact in 2 to 3 years. We've got a crew now that are making an impact now, starting with Keon Coleman. I think it could be put to rest at this point about the draft class as far as wide receivers go. The more I see Keon perform, the more I honestly believe that he was the guy the Buffalo Bills had on their list the whole time. Obviously, the neighbors of the groups, the Marvin Harrison Juniors of the groups, we didn't have the draft capital. We don't have the budget to have moved up that far to grab one of those guys. Ryan Thomas Jr., maybe we would have had to draft it up quite a bit, but the Jaguars took him pretty early. But as far as the guys that we traded our picks away, the Xavier Worthies, the Legets, however you want to say it, there was a lot of question why the Bills got rid of that opportunity and brought in Keon Coleman. I think the recent stats that we saw, the blocking ability of Keon Coleman, the damn one-handed over-the-head catches of Keon Coleman, the sideline back shoulder catches of Keon Coleman is just a little taste of what he's going to bring here to Buffalo. He's young. He's brand new to Josh Allen, a guy that's been in the league for 7 years. They're not going to be 100 catches, 1,000 yards combination right now. They absolutely are not going to be. What you want to see out of your rookie wide receiver is exactly what I believe we're seeing now. The contested catches. Josh is getting comfortable with him. He's not that 165-pound, 5'9" speedster that the Chiefs went and got, because that is just not what Joe Brady's offense is all about. We know that he's a running offense first and then pass. So there was no way Xavier Worthy was going to be a legit candidate for the Buffalo Bills wide receiver number 2, number 1, not even maybe a slot. And why would you go and draft a slot in the first round? I think Keon Coleman is showing us exactly why the Buffalo Bills picked him as a perfect for us for Buffalo. Obviously, they brought in Amari Cooper. The need for wide receiver 1 was there, and we are about to see Keon Coleman explode, guys. He's not going to be the 10-catch guy. He isn't going to be, but he's going to be the guy that gets the 4, 5, 6 catches every game. That's 1 or 2 of those is going to be, holy shit, did you see what Keon Coleman did? And that fits our offense. We've got so many mouths to feed. We've got a scheme that you don't know where the ball is going. And we've got a team where the players understand when you get your limited opportunities, you got to perform at your best. And Keon Coleman is that guy for sure. Let's see. Let's have the comments here. Well, that's my little gist on Keon. Ellen Lars eats hers right before kickoff. We're talking about SpaghettiOs here. We got a lot of talk about our kid on the sidelines, Eli, a young buck. That's part of the show, guys. He's a kid on the streets, gives us a score prediction. Unfortunately, with how StreamYard's working right now, I can't pull up any videos, so we'll get his score prediction later on this week. All right. John Johns, he agrees Coleman's getting better every week, and that's more a credit to him and his repetitions with Josh, not only at practice but in the games for sure. Frankie J. Matthews, host of Raw Live. What's up, Frankie? He's not good after the catch and run. Who's not good after the catch and run? I think that's sarcasm right there, Keon Coleman. I'm getting your sarcasm, Frankie. He's wonderful after the catch and run. Thanks for the comment. Eli's prediction is right on the money. He obviously does his homework. He's going in his picks. Brave Eli, nice job. Seahawks game pick. Hell yeah. Frankie with another comment. He can get up and make the catches, but after the catch, he isn't quick. Man. Okay. I'm going to take a chug on that. Think about what I'm going to say. Keon Coleman has a lot of yards after catch. And I know that's who you're talking about. He's getting caught from behind for sure. He made a couple catches. He makes a move, gets caught from behind. We knew going into it, he's a 4.4, 4.5 40. He's not going to outrun any of these faster guys, but his yards after catch are pretty amazing. He's got the 20 plus yards per catch stat line going. So I don't know. I beg to differ, my friend, but it's a fan first perspective here, and we're all allowed to have our opinions. But I don't know. He's quick enough to get open. He's big enough to catch balls. He's big enough to block, and his yards after catch are pretty good. Yes, and Cooper has already had an impact on Coleman. Cooper has had an impact on Coleman. He's had a pretty wonderful impact on Coleman, and Cooper hasn't even been out there. Apparently, he's still learning the playbook a little better, but when that becomes a consistent thing, that's going to be pretty dangerous. Score predictions. We'll get there, Frank. I know we got to get to this Miami game. We will get better for sure. Talk about number 10 target to catch ratio. Can't spell Shakir. Yeah. Yep. I can't remember this exact stat, but there's like in the last 2 years, Shakir's got like 85 targets and 70 something catches. High catch ratio. And he's also the yak guy. We saw a bunch of screens thrown to him in the past couple of weeks, and he's making the most out of those opportunities. He's slippery. He's a slippery bugger. Sorry about prediction video this week. I'll definitely post it tomorrow. Eli's some homework. Yeah, get that homework done. Hey, education before sports, for sure. There you go. I love that prediction. 38-17, Bills against Miami. All right. The show might go in overtime. We've done overtime before. If I'm going to make it quick, I'll do offensive and defensive mid-season MVP. I got to give the offensive MVP, and I hate to sound cliche here, but this offensive line, not only they're protecting Josh Allen, but they're creating holes for the run, 4.3 yards a carry. A lot of that number is skewed because we have down the ball quite a bit. Victory formation, not a ton, but enough to say that that's dropped the number a little bit. But 4.3 yards as an NFL running back, the goal is always that 4.0 mark, and we're right now at 4.3. I'm also giving credit to 10 sacks given, 1.25 sacks a game against Josh Allen, a guy that tends to hang on to the ball a little longer than he has to, a guy that extends plays and makes the play last a little longer. Those sacks could be up a little higher, but the Buffalo Bills have done a good job to keep them down to 10, which is just over one sack given up a game. What else did I want to throw here? Yeah, the run game. It sets everything up. We're on pace for 2,000 yards rushing, which is pretty amazing. And it's split up pretty evenly. I think Cook has over 300, pushing 400. He might. Someone help me out with this fact check there. And we know Ray Davis has had a couple good games. I had one great game and a lot of good rushes. He's pushing the 300 mark. And Josh Allen, obviously, and Ty Johnson are contributing as well. And if you, as a running team, if you can get to that 2K mark, you're doing a pretty good job. You're doing a really good job. Defensive MVP. Actually, let's see. Anybody else? Patrick Hughes, Josh Allen, MVP. Offensive. Hey, the one interception, got a couple fumbles. We recovered that one for first down. Yeah, Josh Allen's hard to say that he's not the MVP for sure. I agree with it all. Yeah. Let's go defensive MVP for me. It's more of, for me, a guy that's come in and has had to replace an all-pro linebacker in Matt Milano. A guy who has had to replace Bernard, who's currently injured. And until last week, he only had 2 tackles this last game, but as of last week, he had second in the league in tackles, and that's Dorian Williams, second-year guy out of Tulsa, making a name for himself. Not the biggest guy in the world, but he's getting the job done. Tackles after tackles for loss, dissecting defenses, still dropping back in coverage, covering tight ends. The guy for me has been a staple of this defense, obviously, and he plays a big part in that run game and that pass defense. With the way the Buffalo Bills scheme, the linebackers have to play a big role, and he's filling that void beautifully to the point where it's going to be hard to see what happens if Milano comes back. And I am saying that if Milano comes back and Bernard's back, what the hell do you do with the top 5 tackler in the NFL? And it's not just tackles 15, 20 yards downfield. The guy is making tackles where he should be making tackles. So that's going to be a tough call for the Buffalo Bills. I'm glad I'm not their establishment that has to make that decision. But come time when Milano's back and Bernard's back, what are you going to do with Dorian? What are you going to do with those guys? Good problem to have, but a tough decision to have to make. So those are my MVPs. What else we got? Patrick Hughes says defensive MVP is Hamlin strong. For sure, man. There's a lot of questions with the safeties this year. Obviously, Taylor Rapp had that spot. We knew coming in that he'd be all right. He obviously played for the Rams, a Super Bowl winning championship defense that he started on. So I knew he could cover that part. The issue was going to be with the whole Hamlin, Cole Bishop, who was going to perform there, who was going to stand up. And right now it's Hamlin leading that defense. I think he's second in the team in tackles, but he is putting his helmet on people. He is playing very good football right now. And it's exciting. It's exciting for sure for him. But there's a lot of MVPs that could potentially be on this team for sure. All right, fellas, we got to move on. We got 15 minutes. We might go overtime a little bit here. But I do want to talk about the Miami Dolphins. This upcoming matchup, hated rivalry. We obviously did our poll earlier this week. Out of the AFC East teams, which team do you hate the most? Rank them. Mine was the Miami Dolphins for obvious reasons. Big rivalry. I'm a quarterback guy, so it was always Jim Kelly versus Dan Marino. But I can't, the fans don't help either. These fans out here that are loud, obnoxious, they don't help the cause either. So this is a big-time rivalry week. We're hosting them, Highmark Stadium, 1 o'clock football game, which should be exciting. And, of course, Miami's coming up, and they're going to get nice weather. We saw this last game at Miami. They were, again, cooking the defense. They played the Cardinals. And there was a lot of comments about how hot it was on the sidelines. But it's not the case this week. But they are coming up to a nice weather Sunday football game. So I guess, weather won't be the great equalizer this week. But we do keys to success, guys. So offensively and defensively, you let me know in the comments what's the key to the offensive success, what's the key to the defensive success. We'll go over X factors and score predictions, and then we'll wrap it up. How's that sound? We got 10 minutes. I think we can do that. All right. Let me take a poll. Bruce reminding us. Look at that. Come on. The O for 70s is why we hate the fish. Yes, for those of you who don't know, in the 1970s, that whole decade, the Buffalo Bills did not win a football game. Still riding with no score predictions. Bills win and squish the fish. There you go. All right, let me get that. There you go. So keys to success offensively, in my humbling opinion, keys to success for me is Joe Brady not worrying about the potential high scoring ability of the Miami Dolphins. Yes, I still do believe they have that, but I want Joe Brady to call an offense that is reflective of what he's been doing in the past. Start stepping away from the clustering. We've talked about clustering the screens, clustering the runs, running on second down all the time, and we saw him get away from this past week. I want to see more of that. I want to see Joe Brady to be very successful in his play calls and keeping that rushing to passing ratio about at the 50-50. And I totally understand, guys, that a lot of times game play, game scenarios can kind of force a hand to make you change up things a little bit. But I just don't want to see any changes being made too quick. You come in with your hot hand. You come in with your game plan. I don't want to see, we've discussed the offense taking what the defense is giving. And that's a conversation that could be talked about a lot and to what that means. For me, it means not necessarily let the defense show their hand. To me, that means you know what this defense is all about. So you you come in knowing your strengths and you impede those strengths on this defense. And I think the Buffalo Bills are very unpredictable right now with what their strength actually is. There's the obvious answer in Josh Allen. There's the potential answer in the Josh Allen and Amari Cooper. There's the growing answer in Keon Coleman. And then there's that 1-2 punch running back answer in the likings of our friend James Cook and Ray Davis. We don't know what they're doing, but we do know it's been successful. And Joe Brady has had people working under him weeks in advance. I know these guys prepare for this next game, but there's people under him doing film study and bringing tendencies. Joe Brady, you need to continue doing what you're doing to be successful on offense, set these guys up for success. And what's been successful is what you've been doing. So I don't want to see much of a change from what the Buffalo Bills are already bringing to the table as far as offense goes. Let's see here the comments. Patrick Hughes. Key offensive running game, defensive pressure. I like where your head's at. Corey Blaine throwing out an X factor this week is Douglas. He finally gets a pick. Love it. Mine might be the same. I think Swank said the same thing. I would love to share Jarrod's and Swank's, but we don't have a lot of time. So I got to keep the show going. These guys did send me theirs, but it's just me, and I don't want to fumble through my phone and miss you guys out. So sorry, Jarrod and Swank. I'll get you next time. Patrick Hughes, if Tua throws a pick, didn't we decide in week 2 to call that a Huck Tua? There you go. There you go. Frankie from Twitter, from X, keep Josh under center more. I did see a lot of comments, a lot of discussion about Josh Allen under center. I'm not 100% sure of the stats, guys, but that man is looking pretty good underneath the center. It draws in that play action more. A lot of times that's shotgun play action. It's a lot easier to see from those linebackers and those cornerback perspectives where the ball is. But if you're lined up under center, there is a part of the game where that ball disappears and you have a hard time watching. So play action is a lot more effective. But he is doing pretty darn good under center. His passing game is doing good. He's getting his head up and making the reads fast. You see him pivoting on his feet and making those reads. I'm liking him under center, and it makes the game a lot more difficult for defense when a quarterback is lining up under center. Any update on Milano? From Patrick wants to know from Bruce. Key is to keep Achane under control. A-chain. I said Achane. I apologize. Frankie with a thumbs up. So let's go to the key to the defensive success. And I am going there because Bruce McKellar brought up a great point. This team is speed. This team is speed. Tua is playing. Obviously, Hill, Waddle, A-chain, Mostert, full of speed. So my keys to success, I wrote it down. Maintain gap responsibility and zone responsibility, which is pretty self-explanatory. I saw a lot of trick plays against the Cardinals this week. Fake pass because he's left-handed, fake right-handed pass, shuffle with the left, a lot of confusing motions, a lot of movement, which is very difficult not only to follow, but when the trickery comes out of it, when these guys go in motion and get a head start running, their speed is already up to a high level. It's a game where gap responsibilities, and what I mean by that is if you're responsible for a certain hole, 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7 on the left side, you're not to be pushed out of it, or you fill it and don't let anybody else through it. And if the ball goes a certain way, don't vacate that, because these guys are so fast, so agile, they can cut back, turn up the speed, and outrun everybody. So maintain your gaps. And what was the other one did I say? Zone responsibility. So this goes for the linebackers and the safeties and the corners. We saw the potential of our safeties getting burned deep, obviously, earlier in the year. Those two safeties back there playing at two-man, you got two zone. You got to stay back. Don't let anything behind you. Obviously, we like this. We've seen Tua many times loft the ball up as far as he could throw it at 45 yards, and allowing his speedy wide receivers to run underneath it. Can't allow that to happen. So if you're responsible for zone, make sure the checkoffs are there, make sure you're passing the correct guys along, and just making sure that everything stays in front of you, because speed is a killer. We've managed it before. We've beaten the Dolphins plenty of times with the same speed they have now, but it's always a fear because going into this game, Buffalo Bills fans know that speed is a dangerous thing. And if we could do that, then we will be successful. That's my keys to success for the defense. Let's see what the fans are saying. Frankie says pressure on Tua. Yep, for sure. Anytime you can bring pressure, throw him off his game. He does have a higher release. He does tend to loft balls more. So if you could pressure him and make him arches, kind of lean back and take the angle away of his throw, the ball will be more loftier, a lot more time for these safeties to get underneath it and pick, and maybe even overthrows, even though it's very hard to do that for Waddle and Hill. Rattle him. He's going to throw the ball away a lot and trying to, yep, for sure. Any setbacks, or has he progressed well? Talking about Milano, Bruce McCullough says Milano is on schedule to have return possible early December. We're going to the Swank and I are going, and Josh Cook in the comments are going to the Niner game. So that would be something special if Milano came back for that. Alan Lart says, give Tua happy feet, get him nervous and take advantage of that, and keep A-Chain the hell off the field. That's going to be a tough one. A-Chain's a speedster. He can catch, he can run, he can do all that stuff. Is Tua planning to retire after the season? I don't think so. If you guys go watch the interview with Tua, it's pretty disheartening. He's not going to wear the Guardian cap. He lives for football. I think at one point he said he died for the game of football, which is very concerning. At some point, with how the NFL tries to make sure that the safety is a priority, there's got to be some sort of way that someone can step in and say, listen, we're not going to let you play. You want to play? We're not going to let you play. And I just don't see that happening. And, the scary scene that we saw with DeMar Hamlin a couple years ago, and I'm not wishing this upon anybody, but if you keep letting a player like Tua play, we've already seen the stiffening, there's a lot of terms for it, medical, but I'm not. We've seen that, and I'm just worried that the next thing is going to happen and it's going to be on live TV. So, and that's not my biggest concern. My biggest concern is his family, his friends, that obviously don't want to see him like that. And as of now, I mean, with CTE the way it is, you're going to see Tua in rough shape at the age of 45, 50 years old. And I'm just going to call that out right now. It's with the amount of head injuries we've seen, nothing good can come of it. And I think the NFL is not being very responsible in helping persuading his decision or forcing a decision on him. It's very negligent. Very negligent. All right, guys. That was my offensive keys. X factor, quick start. I'll make it quick. Quick start. Get on the board. Obviously, Joe Brady, I mentioned he can't get away from his game plan. So if you get a quick start, then you could do everything you wanted, just like the Seattle Seahawks game. 34 rushes, 34 passes. I see that happening like that if the Buffalo Bills can get a quick start. And with that quick start, bring the pressure. Bring Tua, pressure, make him make bad decisions, and you'll be in a good place. You'll be in a good place with that. Score predictions. Let's see those score predictions. We've had a lot out there already. Let me see if I can't find a couple. Jamie says overtime. Are we in overtime yet? Not yet, Uncle Jamie. Come on now. We're almost there, though. I've already seen a bunch of score predictions, guys. Mary Jane Brown Hughes says 43-14. We lighten them up. Ellen Lart says 35-14. Squish. The fish. Bunch of scores. Paulette Brown 38-12. Couple blowouts here. Keeping in mind, I believe the Miami Dolphins are 2-5. The AFC East altogether, other than the Buffalo Bills, have won 6 games. The Bills are at 6 games. We're at 4.5 games above all those guys. But in a blowout would be a nice tone setter for the next 4 games to see if we can't clinch this AFC division. Corey Blaine says 38-10. Love it. Love it. Let me throw this out there, guys, because we are there. Here
we go, folks. We're in overtime.
Overtime. We got till 9:00. Fan base loves us because we always go over, but they never complain. So I'll take a couple more minutes to talk a little bit more Bills football. I got score predictions. I'll throw mine out there. I'm going 31-17. I think the Bills do have the firepower to score on the majority of their drives. I think it's going to be a game similar to the Seahawks game. And I do believe the pressure will be brought against Tua. I mentioned earlier about the Buffalo Bills creating all that pressure, not getting home with the sacks. I do think that's something that's going to come up. Russo is a special guy for me this week because I was hoping the Buffalo Bills would get Jalen Phillips back in the draft when they drafted Russo, and Russo was a surprise pickup. Didn't know a lot about him, but now that we do, we love to have him here. Jalen Phillips, obviously on Miami, who's hurt. Godspeed to him because he's one of my favorite players that coming out of college. I wanted the Bills to have him. But it's a nice kind of redemption for me because I wanted Jalen Phillips. We got Russo. I would like Russo to get a bunch of sacks. So I think it'll be a fun game to watch. Start quick, create pressure on Tua for sure. Josh Cook, 35-17. Nice. Patrick Hughes, 44-20. Bills got to get the O's in there. You're right. You're right. You're right. All right, guys. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You guys, again, kicked ass in the comments. We're 100 away from 1,000 viewers. Love it, love it, love it. We do have a couple games to choose as far as the AFC. Let's see here. Let me pull up my phone. It's pick'ems. It's pick'ems. Obviously, at the end of the show on the K-Gun Report, we always pick the AFC East games. We're keeping a running tally. I don't know the exact score. I know we're all pretty close. Swank, my brother, Jarrod, and myself. And we're doing pretty good in our picks. But we do pick the three teams that are playing in the AFC East as well as a toilet bowl game. And I'll throw this out there for you guys to see. Let's see here. Okay, so Houston versus the New York Jets. Let's see what you guys say. Houston versus the Jets. I'm going Houston personally. I think the loss of Diggs is not going to knock them back too much, but I do think the Jets are a garbage fire right now. So I am going Houston Texans. They're playing at New York. They don't have enough. They've gotten a wide receiver. They fired their coach. The answer's not with what they've been doing, and I think it's they're not going to give up, but it's about that time. Patrick Hughes says Texans by 1,000. Very cool. Let's go on to the next game. John says Houston. Very good. Here comes the comments. Next game is going to be the Patriots versus Tennessee. Ooh, Patriots are on fire. I know they haven't won many games, but it seems like they're not too bad right now. They played well last week. I think Tennessee is one of those teams that kind of figured out what they were doing. And then quickly lost it. I don't think they have an identity without Derrick Henry. So I'm going to go ahead and give the Patriots the win on this one. I'm not sure about the Drake May injury, concussion I heard. I don't know if he'll be back, but I do see New England pulling it off. And I honestly, to be honest, guys, between Miami and New England and the Jets, if there's anybody that's going to win more games this year in the AFC East, it's going to be New England as far as I'm concerned. John say Patriots. Patrick Hughes says the Titians. Bruce McKellar agrees. Patriots win. Paulette Brown. The Pats. All right, let's do the Chargers in Cleveland. Who knows? This was a tough matchup. Not that these teams are good, but tough because they play about the same. I know I'm a fan of the Chargers. I like Herbert. Not performing quite as well as I thought he ever would. But then Cleveland comes in. And don't they beat the Ravens with Jameis Winston? What the hell's up with that? That guy's everywhere. He doesn't have bad numbers. The guy has been pretty successful wherever he's gone. I think he's been pretty high in the league when he completes a season with passing yards and touchdowns. I know he throws a lot of interceptions, but good for you, Jameis Winston. I never picked the Cleveland Browns, so I'm not going to. Do I think they could win this game? Yeah, I really do, but I'm not going to pick Cleveland. I'm going to Chargers on this one. John says Cleveland. Patrick Hughes says Cleveland Browns. Paulette Chargers. Corey Chargers. And then Mary Jane Brown says Browns can't go against the Browns. There you go. Mary J. Brown must be picking the Browns. All right, then we got the Toilet Bowl game. Looks like the Raiders versus Cincinnati. Now, T. Higgins was out last game. Raiders are struggling. They had the perfect opportunity to catch up to Kansas City this past week. Got an interception on Mahomes, who leads the league in interceptions, but right now it's not an interception problem when he's got it. I think he has more interceptions thrown than touchdown passes. But we're looking at the Raiders versus Cincinnati. That's tough. I'm going Raiders on this. Madison's doing a good job running the ball. I think if they can establish the run, keep Cincinnati off the field, T. Higgins isn't playing, I think they can win it for sure. What do you guys say? Bungles, Patrick Hughes. There you go. Patrick Hughes says the Bungles. I mean, I think it's at Cincinnati too, so there you go. Raiders, says Paulette Brown. It's tough. It really is. These toilet bowl games are tough because at any time, these guys are NFL players. At any time, someone can show up and they can have a big performance. I want it to be Raiders. Madison's my running back in fantasy, forced because of injury. I want him to be successful. John says Bungles. There we go. All right, guys, we are at 917 live viewers. Beautiful thing. My name is Scott. I was the host of the K-Gun Report today. We're going to go over final thoughts here. There's a lot. I do want to remind everyone that the K-Gun Report, we go live every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Whether it's Victory Tuesday, therapy session, whatever you call it. We absolutely love the participation, the involvement of the Bills Mafia. We are part of the Buff fan base, which is the original Bills Mafia and sponsored by 26 Shirts, which Bills Mafia, you know who they are. But we are honored, humbled, and very excited that you all get to be part of this. The comments come in like crazy. I'm not seeing many other shows, guys, that get as many comments as we do, and that's a testament to you guys. You're here with us every Tuesday, and it's a beautiful thing. I want to remind you that we also do a pregame show, hour and a half before every Buffalo Bills football game. So this week we have a 1 o'clock game at Highmark against Miami Dolphins. You'll see us logging on, talking Bills football, going in, and the inactives and actives, and giving our final thoughts. Myself, Swank, and RT from the Thomas Take Sports Podcast at 11:30. Again, an hour and a half before every game. Again, that show is sponsored by 26 Shirts and part of the Buff Fan Base Network. Yeah, and that's all I got. I just wanted to express my appreciation to all of you, the love that we receive. We just recently did a Bills Backers Bar event at Doug Kent's Rose Bowl Lanes, and the participation, the viewership on the live stream, as well as people showing up to that Bills Backers Bar, cheering on our Buffalo Bills, winning raffles, giveaways, all that stuff. It was an amazing experience, and we look to do something like that more in the future. And again, it's all because of you guys. I do want to sign off. Love you, Jarrod and Swank. Man it myself, did a great job. I'm just kidding. But the guys in the comments, the girls and guys in the comments, you guys did a kick-ass job. Until Sunday at 11:30, we love you guys. Cheers, and go Bills.
Country mile, the steering's really not my style. Poach tongues, one more word, and you might choke. And they don't know how long the story goes. All we're doing, fine crosses they have. Open up my chest so I can finally breathe. Stepping on the road, but I suppose we might as well be free. So we find our way back home. Cannon dips on verbal killing spree. Blind sheep fall to